So look, I have my own planner, and I say that my planner is like having a conversation with yourself. You start the month, you know what is important to you, what quote, uh, you what kind of theme vibe you want for the month. And then through the days, you go and you track your to-do list, your mood, what you're grateful for, and then you end with things that you can improve, things that you're happy, things that make you proud. So you can find this and more at butterflydreams.co. And you have 15% off using coupon first purchase as a thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Life with Francy podcast, a place where you will find conversations about mental health, business, trauma, life in general. I want to create a safe place where we can be ourselves, talk about our stories, and feel love no matter the journey. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy this episode. Now, let's get this show started. Today's conversation was thanks to Women in Podcasting community. It's an amazing community that Jennifer Hensel has shared tools and resources for women in the podcasting community. And now she has her own awards. So you can nominate your podcast and check more information in the Women in Podcasting community. Today, I have the pleasure to talk to Kate, who is the founder of Hair Therapy. Has the qualification, knowledge, and understanding that comes with over 2 decades of experience from working with hair and scalp. With a background in hairdressing and education, her trichology clinic has been born from an obsession with everything involving hair and scalp health. Being present with 2 awards in less than a year of opening. I love her. I want to get to know her more. Welcome to the show, Kate. Tell us, what is life with you?
Thank you. So, well, the worst thing that's, well, I say the worst thing, but the thing that is still kind of overshadowing my life is we moved house a month ago. So everything's a little bit up in the air. I don't really know where anything is.
Life is hectic right now.
Yeah, and it's very, very busy. And I do like to be organized. I like to pride myself that I know where everything is and I always have everything ready and to hand. And if I need things for that next day, I'll make sure it's all there ready. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, but who doesn't like a challenge? So we're getting there. We are getting there. I'm getting back to normal now. So it won't be long before normality is resumed, hopefully.
Yeah, that's good. I wish you all the luck. I know about moving. I used to move once a year, and now hopefully I'll stay here for like 3 or 4 years before I move again.
Yeah.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about your story.
So I've actually been in the hair industry since I was 17. I had to move out of home and support myself. So I decided that if I was going to give up, I was doing my A levels, so probably the equivalent of being in college. I was in sixth form. And I decided if I was going to have to give that up and support myself, that I wanted to learn a trade. And I wanted a skill set that I could use throughout my life. And I'm very creative. I love doing art. And so I just kind of fell into hairdressing, really. I just thought, I've got to go get a job. And I went to a really small salon and they were really, really lovely. They really supported me. And kind of 25 years later, I'm still friends with my 2 bosses now from there. So it was very nice. But as I grew, I kind of got a bit bored of being in a little local salon, doing kind of shampoo and sets on little old ladies, and got to 18 and I wanted to be doing cool, trendy kind of to the minute haircuts. So I went up to London, carried on my career up there, and it was not very soon before I got into education. So I've been in education in the hair industry for kind of 20 years. And again, I've really enjoyed that. I think it really helps to cement your own knowledge when you have to break it down and explain it and teach it to other people. And it's also been really kind of satisfying over the years to see people that I've helped and taught and mentored grow in their own right and really kind of bloom and succeed. So that's really been quite a nice thing throughout my career, that I've been able to help people. And then just before COVID in 2019, I went to a hair health evening that was run by the Fellowship of British Hairdressing, and it was being hosted by Robert Eaton, who is an amazing hairdresser. He's won British Hairdresser of the Year at least twice. And I didn't know he's also a trichologist. And at the time, even with me having been in the industry for a very long time, I didn't really even know what a trichologist was.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that one because I saw that one in one of your questions. I was like, I want to know.
And I think in America, you don't really have that many trichologists, because a lot of dermatologists, although they specialize, especially over here, they specialize in skin. A lot of
Yes.
dermatologists will also have a lot of hair knowledge, but a trichologist is a specialist in the hair and scalp specifically. So
Okay.
hair loss, hair and scalp problems, things like psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, hair condition, hair strand issues, anything to do with the hair and scalp, that's our speciality. So as soon as I found out about this kind of branch off into the depths of hair and scalp science and hair loss, and I saw how they were really could really help people on a much more profound level. Like, it's one thing making people look beautiful and making them really happy and love their hair, and you always get a high when you do someone's hair and it's a complete transformation and they absolutely love it. But when you're able to help people with serious issues like hair loss or scalp problems, where they may not even want to leave the house some days, their husband or their family don't really know how bad their issues are, they don't show anyone, they don't talk to anyone, they may not go for that promotion, they may not go for that new job, they may not go on a date, they won't go to their Christmas party because they've got flakes in their hair and they're very self-conscious, or they're worried about bald patches showing. And you can help someone and improve their life on such a deeper level. It's really, really satisfying.
Yeah, it is. And I'm all for self-care. And my history with hair is just, I try to keep it as natural as I can because I have seen the damage, that a lot of people do from dyeing their hair so bad. Like my mom almost died from an allergic reaction
Yeah.
because she's changed her color so often that her body finally was like, what are you doing? So I try to keep it so you can share all the knowledge that you have because I'm here for it.
And I've also, because of my training in trichology, I've also got access to a kind of a higher grade of trichological products. So my products aren't just cosmetic, like especially my treatment products. I have some amazing scalp treatments and supplements and things like that have been created by trichologists and scientists, and they have really good backing of knowledge and results. So it's slightly different to if you go to a salon and you have a scalp treatment or a conditioning treatment. It's often very cosmetic. Some of them will obviously help quite a lot to the hair condition, but they have a lot more cosmetic ingredients, and they're not at the level of the trichological products. So I really have a advantage on how well I can treat people's hair and scalp and the amazing results that you get. So I've had people say to me, my scalp's had scale for years and I've never managed to get it clean. And they've had one visit with me and left with clean scalp, saying, oh my God, I can't believe this, like, new hair, new scalp. So that's, people get a bit self-conscious, I think, sometimes if they've got an issue. And I've seen it all before, I've seen worse. So it's not an issue for me. I love to kind of get in and delve in and do it because I know the results are going to be so amazing that it's really worth it.
And what are some things that we can do to take care of ourselves? hair
I
and
think especially,
scalps.
yeah, I think especially if you've got an issue or if you're having kind of hair shedding or something like that, sometimes people then get worried they don't want to wash their hair because they think they're going to make it fall out or they're going to do something. And that's normally not true. You do need to keep your hair and scalp in optimum condition for hair growth as much as possible. But again, a lot of my products are very gentle and they respect the scalp's microbiome. So don't kind of go the other way. I sell these scalp massages as well. You know, the kind of the spiky silicone tipped
Mm.
equipment that you can use to help really cleanse your scalp. But they're silicone tipped soft spikes for a reason because we're all about gentle exfoliation and softening and clearing the scalp. So don't kind of go too much the other way either and think I'm going to have to use a really harsh clarifying shampoo and scrub my scalp until it bleeds to make sure it's clean. So respect your kind of make sure you're using a product that respects your scalp's microbiome, looks after your hair, nourishes your hair and scalp, but also does a really good job of cleaning it. And just if there is any scale, products with salicylic acid as well can be really good because they can help to just soften and dissolve that gently rather than kind of stripping everything off, including all the good bacteria and the natural oils and the things that we need to protect our scalp and look after it.
And what would be like some potential causes of like triggers for hair loss and how to recognize them?
So with our body, we have a number of systems within our body that have to kind of function properly in order for us to be at optimum levels of everything and everything work properly in our body. And so we have a natural state called homeostasis where everything is good and it's all working well and everything's great. Now, there are a lot of causative factors to things like hair loss and scalp issues, and there are things that can trigger it. But I do always say to a lot of my patients, it's never normally just one thing, unfortunately. Our bodies are quite sensitive, but they're also quite resilient. And if it was just a cause that a slight deficiency or stress or a slight problem could cause hair loss, none of us would have any hair, right? Because everybody has stuff to deal with all the time. We don't always eat well. We don't always sleep well. We don't always drink enough water. You know, we don't always look after ourselves. So if one thing was enough to push us over the edge, none of us would have any hair. So it really is
Mm.
about balance. However, there are a lot of factors to take into consideration. So especially if your scalp flares up, or if you do find that you suddenly have quite a lot of hair loss, it could be a thyroid issue. It can be hormones. So you do find through pregnancy, childbirth, and menopause obviously is a big one, can have a big effect on your hair thickness, your hair growth, your hair condition even. So hormones should be looked at if you think that that might be contributing to it. Any kind of deficiency, especially things like iron, vitamin D, vitamin B12, they're good ones to monitor because even if they're low, even if you're not deficient, if they're low, you're not going to be producing amazing quality hair. Even if it's
Mm.
still growing, it's going to be, you know, if you don't have the resources, you're not going to be able to function properly. And like I said, things like making sure you get enough sleep. Drinking water, I always say to everyone, is a really, really easy, simple change that you can make to improve your health, not just with your hair health, with your general health. And it's something that's quite easy to do. So that's a nice one to start with. And just trying to monitor your stress levels. So I know it's
Mm.
really easy. Even just getting outside as well. You know, if you get outside for 10, 20 minutes a day, Go for a walk, especially when it's nice weather. I know that you're not really in that lovely beach
Oh yeah,
area
no, I
now,
wish I was. I'm in
but
Kansas, but it does remind me of Puerto
you know,
Rico.
yeah, if you could get out, get to Puerto Rico, that would be amazing. But if it's nice and sunny, get outside 10, 20 minutes a day, get some fresh air. If that's going to help your vitamin D levels, it's going to help your stress levels, it's going to help your exercise levels if you're walking. So it really is kind of looking at how you can make small, sustainable changes and how you can work on those areas that maybe aren't at optimum levels. But also just to remember that for me personally, if I do a consultation with a patient and they've got an issue, we spend an hour, we delve into everything. So I don't just go, oh, your iron's low. Oh, that must be the cause, and stop looking. Because there may be 2 or 3 things that actually are all contributing to you not being at your best of health. So it's always worth considering, just even if you find one issue, it's always worth considering, is there anything else that could be impacting this? Especially if, say, for example, you had an iron deficiency and you managed to improve that and your iron levels rose and you're still not seeing an improvement in your hair health or your scalp, then it's time to think, right, okay, well, what else might be impacting on this? So unfortunately, it can be a lot of different factors, but fortunately, a lot of them are very straightforward to identify and to improve. The only time it gets difficult is when you have something which is triggered by an autoimmune condition. And that
Okay.
obviously makes it a lot harder.
And do you share stuff like this on your podcast? What's the name of your podcast?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. So, yes, I also have a podcast. It's called the Hair Therapy Podcast. And I always have a guest. So you won't just have to listen to me again the whole time talking. It'll be interesting people. I have a lot of real life stories on there as well. So when the podcast started, the idea was having met people who said, my husband's never even seen how bad my hair loss is. I don't talk to anyone. I don't share it with my family. I've got no one to turn to. That lack of community and that lack of being able to even talk to anyone, that feeling so alone, that's what I wanted to take away. And I just kind of thought, with a podcast, you can listen to it in the car, you can listen to it on your own. No one even needs to know you're listening to it. But if you listen to other people going through similar experiences, you can hear maybe what they did that worked, or what, a lot of the time as well, people say that actually it's almost been a blessing in disguise because it's given them so much in their life. So it's nice to hear people coming out the other side that are actually saying the positives of it as well. And then I also have a lot of experts on, so we do try and cover a different topic every week. So be that a new drug that's come out or a new treatment, or how to navigate a certain situation or condition, then we do talk about that. So I still thankfully have not covered everything, but we're now on just coming up to start season 8. So there is plenty on there for people to have a look through and see if there's anything relevant to them, or maybe a loved one or someone that they know. So I also like to target hairstylists as well and help them become more confident in tackling those conversations around hair loss, approaching the subject with clients, because maybe if they're not very confident, they might not want to mention it to their clients, or they don't know how to look after them. So again, I mean, I do a 1-day course where people can learn a lot more about the hair and scalp for this reason. But again, even the podcast, if they suspect their client might have a certain condition, or they want to help someone that they know that might be going through something like chemotherapy, for example, there's loads of information on there as well, which can be really, really helpful.
I love that. Where can my listeners find you?
So basically, it's hair therapy for
Mhm.
everything, pretty much. Hair Therapy UK, hairtherapyuk.com. Hair Therapy UK Instagram is probably where I'm on the most. But I do have Facebook as well, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Threads, X, whatever else, whatever new one comes out, I'll probably be on there. But Instagram's probably the best. Or if anyone's got any questions as well, feel free to message me through the website or through Instagram, because I'm always happy to try and help and support or give any kind of guidance if I can.
I love that. And what are you grateful for?
Firstly, I'm very grateful that despite the fact that all I do is talk about hair loss, that I actually have hair. I'm very grateful for that, because I've seen enough people who don't to know to be grateful. But I'm just very grateful that I can be in this position, that not only have I managed to be able to learn so much, that I can then pass that on to other people and help and share. And with people like you allowing me to come on your podcast and help, that hopefully I can get the word out a bit more and just be able to kind of help and look after more people.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your wisdom with us.
Thanks, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Life with Francy podcast. You can find this show in all podcast platforms, as well as YouTube channel. You can like, subscribe, and share to help this girl out. You can find the links of the guests and more in the description of the episode. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye bye.